coming. Greetings, me old chums. Right, in today's video, we're going to be going over top 20 killer bass lures 2022. Now, these are all lures that we've used throughout 2021 that have worked for us. There's some lures that have been in previous guides that are not in there this year. They've been in every single one, but we'll get into that. But the reason, obviously, they've not really caught anything. That's the main reason. Anyway, so Christmas is just gone. Just a little Christmas present here, a little head and spook, which is in the guide as well. I got that off someone. I haven't even taken it out thing about yet. So anyway, let's get into the video. Right, the first lure on the list is the Pirate Teaser. Now, if I call it bloody Pirate Seducer again, I will eat it. No, I won't really. But yeah, the Pirate Teaser, I keep calling it Seducer. It drives me nuts. I must have done this about fucking 10 times. Anyway, that's yes, this is the main kiddie. Where's the main little baby gone? Oh yeah, this one. Now see, this is the reason why this has been such a good lure, because when we had the major weed problems throughout the year, pretty horrendous, I'll tell you, at some of the time, this has been the best lure. It's not the only one that we could have used, but for us, this is the one that's been the most productive because it doesn't pick up so much weed. Still does occasionally, it'll pick up a little bit on there, but you're still getting a bit more of a fish in that conditions. You know, that horrible green weed. We've had it so bad, but towards the end of the season, we've managed to, you know, use other lures. It's funny because on the low tides, it's not been as bad a problem, but the high water, some of the high water venues, has, and it all washes up on the beach anyway, then it all washes back out to sea again, and then we still keep getting it all the time, but not towards the end of the season. So that's the part. Them hooks on there, that's cool. I think they're made by Owner. Oh, Jesus, they are the bloody best. Can you get them? Please let me know if you know where to get them. Put a comment below, because I'd love to get some more of them. They are just perfect. Anyway, there's that one. Obviously, there's another white one with a normal hook on it. This green teaser. Now our best results were on the chartreuse, the yellow one, but they said that this was the yellow one, but they put a dye in it and it's made it go sort of like that green colour. And I haven't really got, because I got this towards the end of the season anyway, because I lost all the others. They'd all got chewed up and split, and this bit comes out at the end. But you know, for the price, value for money, because it's been my most productive lure. There's that one. There's a black one that you can get, and there's like a Sandal sort of colour. I think that's what it is, a Sandal. Them hooks are blinding hooks on there as well. They've got a little stopper up there. Let's see that. Can you see it? Just that little stopper. Stops that bit slipping down. I'm going to give these a good old battering next year. So that's the Pirate Teaser. Probably my number one, but not the number one. It's probably my number one lure for me this year anyway. I just quickly put this. I didn't mean. I said dye in the other one. I meant a scent. These Seducers have got bloody proper pen and inks. I tell you, they've got a scent in them. That's obviously what's turned the yellow green. I think that's what I was involved. That's what I was told. Right, next on the list is the Savage Gear Sandal. Now, I'm not going to ramble on like I did on them other ones, because you've seen these before. Now, these lures, not that one, these lures are brilliant. Obviously, you've got the V2, which is the newer one that's got that cocktail stick through it. Slightly different, slightly bloody. They look amazing. And that's the old standard one. I haven't got any lemonbacks, which I would mention, because I've lost them all. They're all gone. So that's the Savage Gear Sandal. Now there's another one somewhere. I don't know where it is. Oh, I've probably lost it. I don't know. Anyway, Ah, I found it. There it is. That's the other Savage Gear Sandal. That's another V2. Yeah, God, bloody, they look great. Now, what it is with these Savage Gear Sandals, what I've found, I see, for me personally, I don't really use them so much around our neck of the woods. However, I've found that other people that have been absolutely crushing them, fishing the same sort of marks as what we have been. And now, and what I reckon they're actually doing is it must be reeling in faster, because I've put them on. I just said in the other little bit that I'd actually lost. I've lost about 2 or 3, but I've been doing a really slow retreat. That's how I found I've had the best results with the Savage Gear Sandal. But I normally only use them in deeper water. But other people have been absolutely bloody crushing it on these, and I want to know why. So next year, I'm going to try fishing a little bit faster and see if we get the results that other people have been getting. Bloody good results as well. Right, next on the list is the Zorus Frosty. Now, this is a little killer. This has been a good one. I mean, one of the other videos, I have the battle of the Frosty and the Duo Realis. That it's Steve Wood, the one that the lure I gave to him. That's at the 500G. The only thing that I found with this is I found it harder to get the bloody thing working. You have to, for me anyway, I might be doing something wrong. I don't know. It's got a new rod, a new reel. It reels in a bit faster. The action on the bloody Shimano, the Luminous is a lot stiffer. Do you know what I mean? So maybe working it too hard, but I had caught on it. I've had a good session on that one. That was a 500G. This one is the I think it's the Holo bait. If I'm wrong, please let me know. I think it is. I'll have to have another look. So I can't remember where I bought it. But I bought that one as as another backup to that one. Anyway, there's one more to go, which is the oh Jesus, what's called the Phosphorus. But I've never caught it. I'm just showing you another version of it, but that's obviously a nighttime lure, glows in the dark, but maybe give it another go this year, depending. I have to go a lot more this year, a lot more in the right sort of times rather than going in the evenings all the time. Sometimes you just got to get up bloody early. It's the way it is. You've got to be in it to win it, I'm afraid. Right then, here it is. This is the Kimono 2, the Asinago. What a lovely little lure. You see, the old Joker, my trusty old Joker, has just not cut it this year, but this one has been good. Still not prolific though. None of them have been, apart from the bloody Pirate Seducer and some of the surface lures, but that's another scenario. But for subsurface, this has caught a few, but not really prolific. But still, it's good enough to be in the guide as far as I'm concerned. Right, the next lure is a bit of a mystery to me. Maybe you might know. Now, it's called the Blue. Now, how I come across this lure is actually I was picking up some bait off of someone, crabs, back earlier on in the season when the water was shit, but there was loads of peelers around, and the fella actually gave me this lure. He found it had shitty old rusty hooks on it. He said if you want to try it out, you can have it. So he let me have it anyway. Brilliant. And I've used that towards the end of this season. Had 2 pollock on it and a couple of bass. So that's a new I don't know what one it is though. I'll have to put my glasses on and read it. But yeah, a blue. The only thing is with that, it doesn't fit in the normal boxes. It's a bit long. I mentioned that in the other video. Yeah, blue. I've got another one called a blue snack on actually. It's got a fin on its head, a bit like a gremlin. But there you go. That's the blue. Right, next on the old thingy. Well, I don't know what one it is. Let's have a look. Oh yes. I've got a couple of them here. Pardon me. Sorry, I do excuse me. Right, this is this is the Auto Walker Emil. Now, oh, mate, this has been such a great little lure. Now, one morning when we were, we could see there was 3 other lads. Now, I knew they was fishing at one of our venues. Well, I say it's our venue. They have every right to be there. Anyway. There was 3 blokes there fishing there. It was first light. One time we'd actually, you know, gone the extra mile. Got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and this was absolutely caning it. I kid you not. It was in the water for seconds, and I'd have one on. Anyway, however, what happened was I went to cast out, got a wind knot, and it snapped off, and I lost it, and I couldn't get another one. Eventually, they sent me one. I contacted them because I couldn't find it anywhere, and they sent me one. That's the Emil. That's the Auto Walker Emil. I've also got them in. I've got it in this green mullet, I think it is, or green sardine. I think there's a blue sardine. That might be the blue sardine. I think I gave that to Steve Wood. The other one, haven't even taken the bands off it yet. There's also a chart and a clear one with a little silvery pattern on the back, and I've got a silver mullet somewhere, but I can't bother to dig that out. I don't know what it is. I think you've seen it before anyway. So that's the Auto Walkers. Great little lure, I tell you, great. Don't have to do anything, just reel it in slowly. Better on clearer sort of water, I've found, so you can actually see it doing the business. Great lure. While you're here, before I get into the next lure, that's that blue Sneckon. Remember I said about the blue, the white blue, I didn't know what one it was. That's the Sneckon one. It's got a little funny little thing on it. It's not in the lure guide anyway, but I thought because it was there, I'll show you it. Right, next on the list is the Longing High Standard. Now this, lovely little lure. Now this was on that same session what I said about the Auto Walkers. I actually caught a few on this. Pitch black darkness, it just seemed to be the business. Why we could fish the little spot we was on, do you know what I mean? It was the right sort of state of the tide. Any lower, you don't seem to get anything. You have to move off, do you know what I mean? It's just one of them sort of venues, but that's a definite catcher in my back. Always got a bit of a bent hook there. Jesus, must have been a 20-pounder. Never mind, one that got away, eh? There you go, that's the Longing High Standard. Obviously the cotton candy, lovely little lure. Next, another absolute belter. Not a prolific catcher, but this has been one of them lures that when we was hammering it with the surface lures, you know, we were just basically surface lure fishing all the time. If we ever didn't catch anything, I kid you not, I'd put that on. First time, twice, I'd hook up. Not always successful, because I'd hooked up and lost. Did have a little bit of a spell of that happening. It was actually pissing me off when everybody else was catching them, and I think, hey, I finally got one, and bloody thing got off. Actually, there's a little clip. We can quickly watch it now, actually.
Fish. Yeah, what is that? I mean, oh fuck me, I was in then. Did you see that? I was in then, did you see that?
So there it is, that's the DC-12, the Duo DC-12 lighter. Right, next on the list, this is the Zorus Pachenko 125 in RG. Now, I tell you the reason why I got this in RG is because over the years, the Astery, the Zorus Astery in RG 110, one of my favourite blooming lures. I tell you what, it's been brilliant, but I just seem to have a habit of bloody losing the things. It's just one of them. It's just the way it goes. Anyway, let me tell you the story. So I thought I'd buy a Pachenko 125 in the RG colour, because I've obviously got Pachenko 2s and the baby Pachenko. So I thought I'd get that in the RG, because I'd had the luck with the Astery. Now, how I got to use that this year is because I lost 2 lures on the trot at fishing at one of our venues. What the problem was, I'd cast out the Pachenko 2 and it just got snagged on something. I just pulled, it bloody snapped. So I stuck the RG on, not thinking anything of it. Snagged, started pulling, I could feel it actually coming in. So what had actually happened was I'd actually caught it on a rope, 2 of them on a rope. 40 odd quid's worth in 2 casts. I tell you, I was pretty sick. So what I did this year, I tried to get another RG in the 110 and couldn't get one. So I stuck this on one day after I'd been using the frost. It weren't really doing anything, this does. Stuck that on. This was going like the clappers, this one. And bang, I caught quite a few that day on the old 125, the old RG 125 Pachenko. Great little lure, that one. Right, next on the list, this is the Maria Squash 125 F125. Jesus, absolute pig to get off, to get hold of, not to get off, hold of. Anyway, yeah, absolute great little lure. That I got absolutely slaughtered one night. I must admit, the geezer had caught 14 that I hadn't caught any. I caught one little constellation one on a Savage Gear Sandal, and I didn't have that lure. So that is a killer. I mean, it's caught this year. I mean, not loads, but like I say, if it's caught, it's going in the. If it's caught, it's going in the lure guide, because it's got so many bloody lures. I mean, there's loads I want to try out next year, but obviously the best sort of time is to try them, I think, is when you're actually catching. When you go and you're not catching, you know, you can't really judge a lure. There just might not be any bloody fish around. Anyway, the Maria Squash, beautiful. Right, next on the list is the Albie Snack, the Pearl Albie Snack. That is another bloody blinding lure, I tell you what. That lure is brilliant. I found it's better on the slacker sort of waters where there's not so much tide run. It probably does work. This is just saying what has worked for me, and because when you actually watch it, if you know when you get your actually reeling in slow, it actually bloody looks so. It does look really realistic, and that is a popular lure all over the country. The Albie Snack. That is an absolute blinder, absolute killer. Right, sort of for me, it's got to be the right sort of time to try it. Do you know what I mean? Right. Right then. Oh Jesus, it's going to get caught in the carpet. You know it is, don't you? It has. Okay. That's good. It's come off. Right. The old Mega Bass Zonk. Now, it just would not be a lure guide without the Zonk. This is obviously the Shingitsuwa Washi, which is the glow top, orange belly. The absolute, probably the hardest lure to get hold of. Not a lot of good to anybody, but I mean, every time I've managed to get hold of this one, along with the other ones that I've got, not this Shingitsuwa Washi, I'm on about other normal, easier sort of ones to get hold of the Zonks. I've always got it over in Asia, like Singapore, or other Japanese one, I can't remember the name of it, but the Singapore one, what's it called? East Bay Tackle or something like that. They have them, but I don't think they've got them at the moment. They seem to you have to just keep checking every so often, as if you wanted it. If it's your bag, I mean, I don't get to use the Zonks very often, but that is the killer for me. That is the killer zonk out of the lot. Bloody absolutely beautiful. It's had it. Well, not had it, but it's fair bit of a batter in that one. The hooks are a bit rusty. Actually, they're not even the original hooks. They've been changed because they've been, you know, snapped or whatever off a fish. Never mind, that's the old zonk. Lovely. Perfect. Right, next in the old goodie bag is the Pirate Seducer. Not the teaser. That's the mistake I made with the art. This is the Pirate Seducer. This is the original one. Now this is another one of them lures. You know, this is the times I've gone down there and nothing's worked. Popped that little baby on and boom, I've caught one. Now obviously we got the teaser's got the little tail on. This one hasn't. Now you'd think that would walk all over that, but for some reason that does catch as well. But the reason why I like this one, obviously the Pirates, as opposed to that, is because of the tide run and using the weighted hooks. I don't tend to use the weighted hook on these ones so much. I find it works better, you know, in the slacker water without a weighted hook, you know, just so it can sink naturally. Do you know what I mean? That's for me personally. That's how I found that they work. Is the little baby Pachenko, the 100. Oh, a lovely little lure, Zorus Pachenko. Obviously there's a smaller one now. That's great when nothing's really happening. You know there's fish around because they're going for bait fish, but you can't seem to get them on the lure. That's a good little one to try if that's the scenario. It's worked for me before. Great little lure. Oh, even in any sort of scenario, because obviously it's got a great little action as well. That's the thing. Oh look, there's this Westin Salty. It's not in the guide, but because it was there, I've caught on that as well. No, I heard about that on the on that Cornish kayak bloke's site. He said about it. And I thought, I've got to try it because obviously he goes all the time. He knows what he's talking about. Do you know what I mean? Got it. Good little lure. Ain't little ones though. Ain't called small ones on it, and it swims quite close to the surface, so you know less chance of losing it. You still got to reel in straight away when you bung it out there, though. Do you know what I mean? Right, next is the head-on super spook. Now here it is. Oh, what a little demon. Now this has got a blinding action to it, I tell you. Now this has got 3 treble hooks on it, and now I was actually told to get the one with 2, but I didn't know that actually at the time. It's typical. I bought 2 of them, but as far as I'm concerned, that's an absolute winner. I mean, it's a great catcher as well. I mean, I've had a few on that. That's one version I got that one for Christmas. It's got 2 hooks. The only trouble is with that one, where's it gone? Oh, here it is. That one's got great big bloody treble hooks on it. I mean, they're like blimmin' anchors on there. Do you know what I mean? Perhaps that's what it is. Anyway, that's like I think that's a trout or something like that. But it's definitely a salt water one because it says it on the packet. And then I've got one more. It's I don't know what it is. It's a bit like a 500G sort of. You know, the way the pattern goes through the thing. So that's their head-on super spook. Lovely. Bloody can't wait to give them a good old battering shit next year. Right, so next is the Chameleon, the Kimono 2 Chameleon, another Kimono 2. But like I said earlier, no joker this year. Yeah, this Chameleon is another one of them lures. It always seems to, it's saved a blank on so many occasions. I've had a few get off this one this year though, right? My bloody feet, I don't know why. Just seem to slip the hook right at the last minute. But yeah, always in the lure guides, this one I think it has been since I've started doing them. The Chameleon, Kimono 2 Chameleon, blinder. The Duo Realis. I haven't got it. Stevie Wood's got it. Anyway, I should let him talk about it, really, shouldn't I? But anyway, that I used to have that lure. Obviously, I'd sold a load of lures to Stevie Wood, and it's been his best lure of the year. So I've got no, I had to put it in the lure guide. It's never been in any of the others, and I've had that. Had that lure years. So that's another corking lure. I mean, it's in the videos, him using it, and he's been catching on it. He's got another couple that I've not even heard of that have been pretty good. We'll have to see if we can see what they are. Anyway, that's the Duo Realis. Right, next on the list is the Savage Gear pencil. It's another killer little lure. Cast an absolute mile. I've got two of those. I used to have the small one. I think it was the 90. I think that's the right size. White, but lost it. Too shallow a water, see. But these will cast a mile, so you can find the deeper water with these. They will swim towards by the surface, which is what we want with a surface lure. Earlier on in the year, absolutely blinding little lures them they are. I can't think what one that is. I think that's a night something or other, that one. It's not that much different from that one, but silver belly, white belly, great little lure. Savage Gear pencil. Right, here's another one. This is the Savage Gear ISP Seeker. An absolute bullet of a lure. It casts an absolute mile. Great catcher. Not used it that much, but it does work. I mean, I've used it in different sort of scenario. When you feel like the fish are further out, do you know what I'm saying? That casts absolutely miles. I know someone that's had a 12, not this year, but other years, has had a 12-pounder on one of these very, very lures. So another killer. Loads of people. Some people just use metals, right? As opposed to any hard lure. Maybe they fish the surfy beaches, because I don't think you'd get away with it on some of the rocks that we fish. You're going to get snagged. But like I say, they go out miles, and you've got a chance, because these swim quite shallow as well. So once you actually get them worked in, do you know what I mean? I've cast out lures and they've just hit the bottom straight away and got snagged. It's not really worth wasting it, because some of them are hard to bloody get hold of. Now, last but not least, I've been racking my brains trying to work out what was number 20 in the guide, because I had got to 17 and I just couldn't work out what was number 20. I'd written it down somewhere, couldn't find the list. Anyway, I went through on the website and had a look through, and I still couldn't see it, but it was on there, but I just was seeing through it. When you try and can't see the wood from the trees. Anyway, it is the Ima Hound Glide. What a killer. Great caster. Now, the reason why this one's in there this year is because someone locally to us, Mr. Neil Creed, he had a 13-pound bass on one of these. Jesus, I've never seen anything that big ever. The biggest I've seen is about 11-pound. Actually, I've actually seen, actually in the flesh, as it were. But he had a 13-pounder on here. So, I've caught a couple of fish in it, not big ones, but that is a absolute blind. It's just made so well. It's a beautiful, beautiful lure. That's the Ima Hound Glide. There it is. So basically, that's the end of the guide, the end of the video. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the video if this is the first time you've been on the channel. Have a look at the other videos or whatever. But I would like it if you could comment down below what your top 3 lures have been this year. It'd be really interesting to see, because a lot of the lures that I use, that are in the guide, especially, I've got bloody hundreds of the bloody things. But these, obviously, the ones I mentioned this year were the lures that have been good for us this year, for me and a couple of my buddies. But yeah. Put your top 3 lures, because like I say, when I go on Facebook and that, a lot of the lures, I think I've never bloody seen them. What the people are catching them, all the different, hundreds of types of different soft plastics. So it'd be interesting to know what your top lures are. Anyway, That took me bloody ages to sort all that video. But anyway, that's the end of it. Happy New Year to everybody. Let's hope we catch loads of bass this year. Let's hope we crack that code and smash them. You got to be in it to win it. Up in the early mornings, that's the way to do it, I think. Right, see you later.